What's up, Lorehounds? It's Koopa here with James Phinney once again, the creative director behind Gigantic from Motiga. So you guys, the biggest news, obviously, recently for Gigantic was you moved companies. So you're now with Perfect World Entertainment, and previously you guys had like an exclusive agreement with Microsoft around Windows 10 and Xbox One. So how is that faring now that you're under a company that actually has its own platform?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. So we're still working with Microsoft as well. So it's still Xbox One, Windows 10 store, but now because of the deal with Perfect World, anybody on Windows can play.
So any Windows, you're no longer Windows 10.
7, Windows 8, whatever, yeah.
All right, so obviously now there's more players coming to the game.
Yeah.
And we've heard that the biggest thing you've done since this transition happened earlier this year is really focus on UX design and really getting people to understand what's happening. How have you seen that actually impact gameplay?
Yeah, I think we see it's a lot smoother, although we still have a little bit of work to do. You know, with Gigantic, we're creating something entirely new. Not just because they're the giant creatures to fight, but just all of the strategic pacing is different. It's something that we've designed for this game and trying to create something that creates a really new and special competitive experience. And so teaching people like, okay, what you're doing is trying to power up your Guardian so that it attacks, and then when it attacks, you've got this short window to go and wound the other one. Like, that's the big thing we needed to communicate, and so did a total reboot, and we feel like it's going well.
And that's actually, I think, having played the game a bit in testing and over the years with you guys, like it's obvious to me now what I'm supposed to do, but if you're coming from any game of that ilk, like a MOBA, powering up your Guardian is very foreign. It's just like, go kill this thing at the end, not go help your own and then go. So what types of things have you done to the UX to really show that to players?
Yeah. Because most of the time, what you're doing is racing the other team to get power, fill power first. The power bars showing how much power your Guardian has is now the most prominent thing in the HUD. Like, it's pretty straightforward what we do.
You kind of can't miss it.
Yeah, the sort of death log thing now shows any event that generates power, which is really just killing stuff, and then there are these spots where power orbs appear and those get collected. So not just kills are in the event log, now it also shows power orbs being captured. And then those have icons in them, and those icons are the same icons that appear in the power. You know, it's a lot of times it's details. It's like, we took the health bars on the Guardians, and when a Guardian's not vulnerable, we reduce the opacity on it so it's not as eye-catching as the power. And then when it is vulnerable and you can hurt it, the opacity increases. So a lot of times it's just the details.
Yeah, it's small bits of polish that are actually really, really important in the end to really help the player understand what's going on.
Yeah, and then the other thing we've done is added a whole system of in-world indicators so that you don't have to look over to the minimap to see what's going on. There's still a minimap to give you a sense of the strategic situation, but you can just look across the world, and if you look straight at it, it'll get a little bigger and more opaque.
From your player view?
Yeah, and see like, oh, there's a creature on this point, or oh, this point's available and has a power orb on it.
So, you know, obviously it's been a couple of years since we started these interviews with you guys. Does the fact that you're looking at UX mean it's coming out soon?
We're getting close. Yeah, you know what? We're close enough that really it's like polish, bug fix, still lots of balance tuning, that sort of thing.
Well, that'll never end, as you well know.
Yeah, and really, you know, what we're trying to do is build the team, the process, everybody's mindset, so they understand, even once it's live, this is still what we're doing. We're always making the game better.
And you know, you mentioned the ARC platform, which is what PWE uses for all their games. You have an ARC account, and it basically spans everything, including money and stuff. Does that mean the Microsoft account is integrated with that? Is it separate? What's going on there?
Yeah, those two things are separate. So it's still the case that if you had the account you're using to play on Xbox One, you could use that to play the Windows 10 store version. If you have the account on ARC, then that's so whichever way you get the game, that's going to determine who's getting the money for it.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're in a little bit of a contractual pickle there.
We don't care. We still.
I mean, I know you don't.
we just want as many people as possible to be able to play the game, and because of the way we do the builds,
But it's going to be the same game.
Like,
right?
It's the exact same game. When we do a build, it comes out on every platform automatically every time. Every daily build, which happens multiple times a day, is ready to play on all three of those platforms. And so for us, it really doesn't matter. It's just whatever's most convenient for players, where their friends are. Those would be the sort of things that would make determination about where you want to get the game.
We know, obviously, Motiga had some troubles. That's why I went to PWE and all that kind of stuff. Has the company like rebounded, stepped back up, and all that kind of stuff from those days?
Yeah. we're full speed ahead now. It definitely was pretty rough for a little bit there, where we weren't sure whether or not things were going to work out. And the team's just really passionate about the game. They really like what we're making and feel great about what it is and what it can be. And so a lot of people stuck around, even when they had offers to go other places. They stuck around. We did definitely lose a couple people, and we've staffed up since then, and we're going full speed.
So what's the right after launch plans? Are there going to be new champions, new maps, and everything?
Yeah, I mean, really, everything for us is making sure things are running smoothly in terms of developing and balancing new heroes, working on new maps, making sure that as soon as it's out there, more stuff keeps coming, because that's one of the things that keeps the game fresh for people.
All right, I think Jeremy has a counter of how many times I've asked you this question, but when are we going to be able to get Gigantic, officially?
Yeah, so before the end of the year, we'll restart the beta. If people want to be notified about that, they can go to gogigantic.com, sign up for newsletter, and they'll know as soon as stuff is back. And then, frankly, at this stage in a free-to-play game, once we hit the point where, from a development standpoint, it's ready to go, that's not what triggers it going into open beta or being launched. It's really how are people responding to it. So what I can say is we'll bring it back before the end of the year, and then when it officially launches, it's just going to depend on how well it's doing.
Thanks so much, James.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks for coming by.